Hello and welcome back to another merchandise review from White Album 2. Now today's merchandise is pretty unique and I will show you why. So today we're going to be looking at some loose leaf production setting materials from the White Album 2 anime. Now, what setting materials means is basically it's a series of, I guess you could say, references from the animators, for the animators. So if they wanted to know, oh, what does Setsuna look like when she's angry? Or what does her necklace look like if we zoomed in on it? This is what setting materials is for. It's basically just references so that all of the animators remain consistent with their work. Now, these setting materials, as I mentioned, are loose leaf. In another one of my videos you can also check out, we have covered the production note from the White Album 2 anime, and this is just a huge, enormous book of all the different settings, all the different references from the anime. So I recommend checking out that video. Now, this was an official product, which was released. These pages were actually given out to the animators and were never released in book form, which is why we have them loose leaf. So we'll go ahead and take a look at them here. So first off is a height chart. And I love looking at height charts. It is so much fun to just kind of see what they look like in comparison to one another. Now, White Album 2 characters almost all the same height. I mean, they're really not that far off from each other. Setsuna being the shortest one, followed only by Setsuna's mom. But it's pretty interesting there. And each of these setting materials is labeled down at the bottom, like the height chart, and then numbered, and then when the setting material was created. So definitely a handy reference for any animator to have used. Now, moving on, we have other references such as eyes. Eyes, very important in anime. The whole defining feature of a character's face are the eyes. So references like this are used just so everybody draws it the same exact way. You're not looking at two different scenes going, why is this different? That is a sign of a poorly communicated team. Even something as far as, well, how big is the mouth supposed to be? And in some anime, they exaggerate it. You know, they have that gigantic mouth when they go, wah! White Album 2 does not do this. So it's interesting to kind of see the behind the scenes a little bit, what was given to the animators, what they found to be important to show. Even as far as this go, A-E-I-O-U sound. So it's just neat to kind of see their processes. I do really like that. Of course, the high school logo, which is a good reference to have if you were to be drawing fan art, let's say, or doing doujins, or I don't know, cosplay especially. You want to know these specifics. So it's just kind of cool for the fans to be able to check it out. What kind of shoes Takeya wears, or Haruki. Well, Haruki and Takeya, because it's part of their school uniform. But so that's pretty much what these setting materials are all about. We won't go through all of them just because there are so many, but let's take a look kind of at what we have. So this is a semi-colored one. Something like this is meant to show the lines specifically because every animation scene will start out as line art, and so showing these references as line art only is extremely important to know, where the hair is, how much hair there should be. And it's not going to look the same in every scene. Just like humans, the bangs can separate, the bangs can be pushed together. But they do want, in general, these things to remain consistent scene to scene. So very neat. And then it's actually interesting to compare because this is the same page, but one step further. So then they add a little bit of shading. They think, okay, well, where is the shading supposed to go? Of course, every artist has their own style of shading, and when working on an anime, that's bad. You want everybody to shade the exact same way. So these small details that we wouldn't even think about are laid out very explicitly in the setting materials. So that is a neat thing to check out. So moving forward, we have the same thing with Kazusa's shadow reference. So you can tell her hair is a lot thicker and her bangs are a lot more protruded. So her shadows are going to be a lot bigger. And I think that's really fitting for the character and for her usual expressions as well. The character design in this is extremely well done. I do love this. And they wanted to kind of capture that in the anime. So yeah, even details as small as that are considered in these setting materials. And I do think that is very cool. Now, this is kind of neat just because we don't see a whole lot of these characters. So this is the classmate reference. So who were the classmates of Kazusa? And they're briefly shown in the anime. It's important to see, this isn't an official height chart, but it does show their different heights. So definitely a good reference to have and cool to see as a fan, to see these behind the scenes kind of things. Moving forward, we have some of the smaller designs of things. So even something as small as Haruki's flip phone gets its own little reference here. I love the flip phone. I think that's such an adorable blast from the past. And then how big it is to Haruki relatively, which is cool. His giant cell phone. And then, although I find it a little bit unnecessary, we have a shading reference for the same phone. So, kind of interesting. It kind of feels like micromanaging at that point. Like, I'm sure some of the animators feel, okay, well, we know how to shade a cell phone, but in the interest of consistency, that's how they do it. This is an adorable Setsuna, by the way. Look at her little eyes. So her briefcase, the class briefcase, and these move on. You bring these to school. You end up using them as businessmen, salarymen, saleswomen. Everybody uses this type of bag in Japan. They're very expensive. They're a few $100s at least, but they're very durable. They're very nice. Of course, we do have the scene setting material, so the hallway and the classroom. This is very important also. You don't want even something small as the windows, you don't want them looking different scene to scene. You want everyone to know exactly what this image looks like so they can all animate it in the same way. A few more general things. So this would be one of the views from above of the city. And now a scene like this could change. It's best to keep it consistent. It's best to know what every background building looks like, but it's not going to be a huge deal because most fans probably wouldn't notice, hey, this building was square in the last one and now it's got a divot. But they do go the extra mile. They knew the anime was a hit just because the games were so popular by the time the anime was being planned. So they knew they had to do it well. The park, very important scene to get right and to know what it looks like. Such a recurring place. And that is about it. So, an interesting merch review to be sure. So, thank you so much for joining me on this merch review. And I will be doing more merch reviews in the future. So I hope to see you then. And until then, I hope you take care. See you.